Yeah. I'll probably find the front door.
Want to take a ride?
Buckle your seatbelt, Dorothy, because Kansas is going bye-bye.
You're meddling with powers you cannot possibly comprehend.
Because look, there's some next level shit going on around here, and I'm with that.
Did Donald Trump's campaign conspire with Russia?
Russia.
Or was it all a political hoax? The highly anticipated Mueller report is now in the hands of U.S. Attorney General William Barr. William Barr received the report from Robert Mueller. He issued this statement. It's pretty interesting. He says, I am reviewing the report and anticipate that I may be in a position to advise you of the special counsel's principal conclusions as soon as this weekend. It kind of sounds like Barr wants to keep a lid on this report.
I think more indictments are coming, and I think they'll be broad-based, and there'll be a general conspiracy indictment.
There are indictments in this president's future. They're coming.
We believe we may well have a criminal in the White House, and the next step is going to be the Trump family itself.
There was activities with the Trump campaign in Russia and releasing those hacks and guiding them to the states and the localities where they came from. Some of that was Jared Kushner's responsibilities. Some of it was Donald Jr. I think you're going to probably see indictments of both of those people.
So it's nothing short of treasonous. Vladimir Putin and his associates, somebody has something on Donald Trump.
There's outright treason. I mean, there is no question that what he is doing is giving aid and comfort to the enemy.
President Trump could be indicted and possibly face jail time.
I think this is a potentially more dangerous situation than Watergate.
I think it's that serious. I think it's that grave. I don't think anybody really gauges how imperiled this presidency is. The end is probably in sight.
Welcome to Face the Nation.
Good morning.
Congressman, no member of the Trump campaign was indicted for conspiring with Russia. I want to play for you what you had predicted.
I think there's plenty of evidence of collusion or conspiracy in plain sight. On the issue of collusion, the reality is that there is ample evidence of collusion in plain sight, and it has been for a very long time.
Mueller does not think there is a criminal conspiracy on this front. Does it hurt your case?
No, as I said, I have great confidence in Bob Mueller's judgment as to who should be prosecuted or who should not.
But as we heard you say there, even before the report was turned in, you did think that the president had committed a crime, and specifically that issue of conspiracy. So is there anything that the Attorney General can say that would dissuade you from that?
I never said that I thought the president had committed the crime of conspiracy.
I think we are going to need a bigger fan. No. Way bigger. No. Even bigger.
Hanging's too good for him. Burning's too good for him. He should be torn into little bitsy pieces and buried alive.
Lesson number 1 in critical thinking. Definition of truth. The truth is that which does not contradict itself. The truth never, ever contradicts itself. It always agrees with and is compatible with itself and other truths. Lesson number 2 in critical thinking. When faced with two apparently contradicting pieces of information, there are exactly 4 possible outcomes. 1. The first thing is false. 2. The second thing is false. 3. Both things are false. Or 4. There is something you do not know that eliminates the contradiction. Lesson number 3 in critical thinking. Investigating the truth. Evidence is information that is investigated and driven conclusively to a true or false state. Anything that is not conclusively driven to such a state is the absence of evidence, and must be excluded from conclusions. A proper, thorough investigation drives all information, as much as is possible, to a true or false state. Lesson number 4 in critical thinking. Concluding the truth. All properly investigated evidence will fall exclusively on the true side or the false side. There will be no split, no contradictions. See lesson number 1. Truth always agrees with itself without contradiction. If you have evidence that appears to contradict, your investigation is not done yet. You must eliminate all contradictions.
Russia, Vladimir Putin, Russia, hates Russia, Putin, Russia, Moscow, Russian, pro-Russian, the Russians, Russian, Moscow, Russian, Russia, Putin, Russian against
Russia.
Stu at home for joining us this hour. I will tell you what Chris is referring to is that a couple of hours ago, maybe even less than that, I was standing knee-deep in a trout stream in Tennessee. But now it's Mueller time. And so I'm in a studio in the great state of Tennessee. The trout are basically just as safe as they were when I was flailing away at them ineffectually this afternoon. Under the special counsel regulations, the Attorney General is required to notify these specific people. The regulations spell out that the Attorney General has to notify the chair and ranking members of the judiciary committees in the House and the Senate.
Good morning. I'm here to give you an update on the FBI's investigation of Secretary Clinton. What I want to do is tell you what we're recommending. But first, let me tell you what we found. 110 emails in 52 email chains have been determined to contain classified information.
What difference at this point does it make?
8 of those chains are top secret, 36 of those chains secret, and 8 contain confidential information.
What difference at this point does it make?
Everything I did was permitted. There was no law, no regulation.
Secretary Clinton should have known that an unclassified system was no place for that conversation.
I did not email any classified material to anyone on my email.
None of these emails should have been on any kind of unclassified system, not even Gmail.
Well, first of all, nothing was marked classified.
To the contrary.
Nothing was marked classified.
There is evidence.
Nothing was marked classified.
Now let me tell you what we found.
Oh my gosh.
110 emails.
It was not the best choice.
52 email chains.
It was a mistake.
Have been determined to contain classified information.
What difference at this point does it make?
8 of those chains are top secret.
Was it the best choice?
6 of those chains
I said it was a mistake.
And 8 contain confidential information.
What difference at this point does it make?
With respect to our recommendation, this is going to be an unusual statement in at least a couple of ways. Although there is evidence, our judgment is that no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case. I know there will be intense public debate. I know there will be intense public debate. I know there will be intense public debate. What difference at this point does it make? 110 emails.
It wasn't the best choice.
52 email chains.
I made a mistake.
Have been determined to contain classified information.
What difference at this point does it make?
8 of those chains are top
It was not a good choice.
36 of those chains
I said it was a mistake.
and 8 contain confidential information.
What difference at this point does it make?
Chuck you Farley.